Hello, everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don, and if you're here for this, then that must mean you're only here for one reason, and that's a brand new episode of the Major Issues Podcast, brought to you by ComicBook Clique. And as always, I am never alone. Sir, introduce yourself.
I am your Cloudus Maximus.
Yes, and we have Cloudus Maximus here in studio, and we are in a world post-Infinity War. We're not even
gonna be ripple
close.
effects through episodes.
Yeah, I kind of sat here. Thinking like, with today's conversation about the future of comic books, movies, television, just comic book media in general, whether or not we should continue to spoil Infinity War. But I guess there's still people out there who haven't seen it, so we'll keep the spoilers at a minimum, if at all. But that's exactly what we're going to be doing here today. You see, we've been going on review after review, movies and comics. It's about time we talk about things that haven't even occurred yet.
The news?
This week of Major Issues is dedicated all to trailer talk. That means the brand new trailer showing off the brand spanking new media out of Sony,
New toys.
Marvel, I guess DC. Yeah, DC's on the board. We're going to be talking about all the brand new things that we'll be getting this year as far as movies and television is concerned, or the comic book media that will be coming out. You've had some time to sit and review some of these trailers. Is there anything that you're excited for at the jump? Is there any movie that will be coming out this year that you've got your eyes on?
Yes. They finally released the second Venom trailer. Well, not the second Venom trailer. The first trailer, because they released that teaser.
Now, we sat here and we chopped it up about Venom before, but let's get back into the Lethal Protector.
Yes, and we got a new trailer with that.
Yeah, we got a brand new trailer. Venom, as you know, out October 5th. This film will be directed by Ruben Fleischer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Of Zombieland and 30 Minutes or Less fame. I like those two movies. Those two movies are fine by me. Before we get into the trailer talk, how do you feel about the Venom character overall? Like, what's your background on with Venom, the character?
I was about to jump into that at first. To be honest, my bias is kind of showing a little bit because he's the main Spider-Man baddie. But I really, really dug him as a kid. I saw him. That's how he debuted to me. Instead of through the comics, it was through the TV show.
Right, the animated series?
Yeah, the animated series, actually.
Okay.
The one that everybody loves.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. One thing that the animated series definitely did for me as far as the Venom character, that voice, man, that, like, he's doing that, he's still doing that voice, like, he's still doing those noises while he hasn't said anything yet, like, he's just that thing, and I really liked, and they would double his voice.
Yeah,
so
and they nailed it, and the movie's too far away, so whatever, people aren't pleased with, I guess, even the symbiotes, I think they'll edit that, that's a thing too.
Yeah, good thing you brought that up.
I'm fine with that, because I know we're still ways away.
Good thing you brought that up. This Venom trailer, the second trailer that's out as of right now, shows a lot more Venom in it. And this was supposedly in response to the first Venom trailer, which I also feel like was
There was
rushed.
no Venom. Yeah, it was no Venom in it. I mean...
Do you think they meant to put out a trailer with no Venom in it?
I think so, just to see how the people would bite.
I
really liked it because there was no Venom in it. You know? But they gave us Eddie Brock.
But I also felt like it was so... not generic, but I guess blank, because they didn't have information in it, that it could have been any movie about anything.
True, that's true.
They said that one YouTuber was saying that he was going around showing people the Venom trailer, the one without the actual symbiote in it, and to see what they could guess what the movie was.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and some
I
people
should have did that too.
Some people thought it was like a new Jason Bourne movie with Tom Hardy in it. So I thought that was pretty funny. But this movie is set to be based on Venom, Lethal Protector, and I'll get into what that comic book has to deal with. But we see right off the jump, we see a crash site, which is good, right? We from the Venom that we know, he gets his symbiote from space. The symbiote from space. And this looks to be a crash site for hopefully a meteor of some sort. Maybe some sort of spacecraft. And you can see
more
them.
symbiotes.
Yeah, and you can see them that they have extracted two containers.
Yeah, we see two. We definitely see two in the trailer.
Right, with symbiotes in it. Symbiotes. Now, in the trailer itself, Jenny Slate says symbiote. I've always
Right.
said it's symbiote.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I believe
Same
you've
way.
always said it's symbiote too.
Yeah.
Well, I found out that we're not alone. Apparently, when this trailer dropped, everyone
I was
ran to
on it too. I was
dictionaries.
like, oh. But I
Everyone
was like,
ran
it's
to
all right. It's all
dictionaries
right.
to
We'll get
find out.
there.
Yeah, everyone ran to dictionaries to find out what the actual pronunciation for this thing is. You know, the alien symbiote.
Uh-huh.
And turns out both pronunciations are correct. You
Oh.
can say symbiote or symbiote. So I'm gonna go back to symbiote because I just like it that way. And so we see that the symbiotes have been captured, possibly from outer space.
Yes.
We see Tom Hardy as the title character, Eddie Brock, who we know will become Venom, and he's talking to his girlfriend, played by Michelle Williams, and he's saying that we find out that his girlfriend's friend works for an evil businessman who works for the Life Foundation. The Life Foundation in the comics, picture a bunch of rich people who are so scared that doomsday might come that they all put in $5 million to be secured a space on like a nuclear bunker,
Right.
or like these are people who are planning for the future, but the apocalypse. But you have to be the richest of the rich to be in this group because you kind of have to have a deposit to make sure that you have a safe space spared for when the end of the world comes. In this though, it looks like a regular genetics corporation. And Eddie Brock, he seems to be standing up for the little man, right? He's going to be reporting against the Life Foundation because he's heard that they've been doing some human testing. How do you feel about reporter Eddie Brock? I mean, he has reporting is in his origin.
We're in LA, so he'll be getting all the burn this time. No Peter Parker in the
Did you
way.
get confirmation about Los Angeles?
It looks
California?
like it's in LA. It looks like it's in LA. You see the bridge.
It's funny that you brought that up, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Carlton Drake is named, the character Carlton Drake. That seems to be the boss, the evil businessman that owns the Life Foundation, and he does, in the comic books, head the Life Foundation. He thinks that the symbiotes are a key to evolution. You know how they always say, right? Like we captured an alien, we have to cut it in half to find out.
We must evolve.
Yes, we have to find out what secrets this alien or symbiote has to unlocking, further life for us. It looks like one of the symbiotes escapes. Would you say there's like a kind of a sequence of red and white flashing lights?
I'm interested to see how that goes down. How Brock gets it.
And Brock does get it, right? Brock does get the symbiote somehow. He comes home. Eddie Brock seems to come home confused, hearing voices in his head, or the side effects of the symbiote.
That was freaking awesome.
He says like, "You're not real. You're in my head," and you hear
I was like,
you do hear the deeper voice talking to him, and a lot of the character of Venom is
that's a good voice.
A lot of that character of Venom is the duality, right? The fact that he's constantly fighting that voice in his head,
or talking to him, trying to see what they can do with each other.
Yeah, so. And the symbiote will fight its host if it feels the host is weaker. Like it will just encapsulate. But the one thing with the Venom symbiote, it always seemed to be cool with Eddie Brock.
Yeah, Eddie Brock was always the best. Yeah, he was my favorite.
So, we see that he's getting these voices in his head. He has the side effects, and they seem to. Mr. Drake seems to send some associates to go pick up the symbiote because you see a bunch of armed men go into Eddie Brock's apartment and they say, we need Mr. Drake's stuff. We're here to collect for Mr. Drake. And before they can shoot him, the symbiote fights it off, independent of Eddie.
Yep.
Does it on its own. And you can see Tom Hardy started to bargain with the symbiote. Like, you could stay, but only if we hurt bad people.
I was like, yeah, here we go. We're friends now.
And then you hear the symbiote say, we can do whatever we want. And you see throughout the trailer various shots of people trying to kill Eddie, and unbeknownst to him, the symbiote fighting it off. Between the motorcycle shot and when they're trying to attack him in his apartment, it's just shooting out of his back. These tendrils, these other appendages are shooting out. It's keeping him safe and alive. And throughout the movie, he's kind of on the run. So I guess as soon as he gets this Venom symbiote, they're gunning for him. And it kind of ends with him grabbing a villain, who says, "Who are you?" and he says the famous line.
We are Venom. Well,
We
it's
are
not like
Venom.
that. We are Venom.
Were you doing the Bane thing?
Yes, I was. We are Venom.
No one cared about me until I put on the symbiote. Yes, Venom. Venom is here. Two notes I found out about the movie. One, the composer for the movie is a man named Ludwig, and I'm gonna butcher this, Göransson, who you might know as the person who composed the Black Panther movie. And I thought that movie had awesome music. So here's hoping that Venom has good stuff in it too. Second thing is, this is supposed to be the start of their own universe.
Yeah, I kind of heard about that, and that deal that kind of went through with Disney and stuff. How we got our guys back inside. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah, Spider-Man's rights are supposed to revert back to Sony. This being a majority Sony film, this is the first chance that Sony has to play with the characters independent of Spider-Man. So many questions, Jarvis. So many questions. I have a lot of questions. For instance, how the heck is he gonna have the spider on his chest? Right?
Crazy.
Does he get
I
the
think
spider on his
I think
chest?
he'll have it anyway. Screw it.
Why?
Screw it. Doesn't
How?
matter as long as it's great.
I don't think he's gonna have it. I think they're gonna
Tom
put it
Hardy
later.
supposedly makes an appearance in the movie, so we don't know how much we'll get of that.
You mean Tom?
I mean Tom
Holland.
Hardy, Tom Holland.
I was like, I'm hoping
two
Tom
times,
Hardy.
2 times.
I'm like, I'm hoping Tom Hardy's in the
But
movie.
yeah, both of them,
He's on the poster.
both of them supposedly have a thing in it. I heard.
You might
We'll
have a
see what
cameo of
happens.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Uh,
Spider-Man or Peter Parker. I don't know.
Very little has been said about this film as far as the plot is concerned. We just know that Tom Hardy's in it, and that he'll be getting the Venom symbiote, and that his girlfriend's in it, and that the Life Foundation is in it. But if you're interested, like I said, this was based on the Venom Lethal Protector comic, and in that comic, we have Venom and Spider-Man making an agreement. Spider-Man goes, you know what? I won't chase after you anymore. I won't follow after you. I won't try to arrest you. I won't try to do all the things, beat you up in the street. Venom, I won't do any of that anymore as long as you agree to not hurt, kill, or harm anyone else. And they agree. They'd agree to go their separate ways. But to continue to go their separate ways, to make sure that they're completely out of each other's way, Eddie Brock moves to San Francisco. Now, is that interesting? I mean,
let's see what's up with that. Let's see
you
what
say
happens
he looking
if
like-
it happens before. But I don't know. He's got to kind of have the symbiote.
Say again?
He's got to kind of have the symbiote, if anything.
Well, in this
Let's
comic,
see what happens.
Yeah, because
I'm
in
intrigued
this comic,
to the
we've
max.
already done the in the Lethal Protector comic, we've already done the Spider-Man 3 quote unquote origin of Venom, which is it comes down, hits Spidey first, then Venom, and then they fight, and then they have this agreement.
Right.
So he's already got the symbiote in this story, but I guess he will just place him in San Francisco in this film. Also, in the Venom Lethal Protector arc, you still have this Carlton Drake guy who's head of the Life Foundation, but using a piece of the Venom symbiote, he's able to create 5 symbiotes from there. Mm-hmm. Scream, Lasher, Agony, Phage, and Riot. And they're all of different colors, of different power sets, but they all have the same similar power sets of all the symbiotes, which is like appendages and all that kind of stuff like that. What ends up happening is Spider-Man in New York catches wind that there's symbiotes going crazy in San Francisco, and he's like, what did I tell Venom? What did I tell that Eddie Brock? And he goes to San Francisco and ends up having to help Venom face off against the symbiotes. And that's basically how that story goes without spoiling way too much. How much of that do you think we'll see in this?
I don't know, to be honest.
Do you think it's all possible? Do you think none of it's possible? Does it sound like appetizing?
I mean,
advertising.
It does. I just got. Oh man, it comes out in October though.
Yeah,
So. Shucks.
That's true. I guess that's another interesting question to ask. If it does come out in October, would a Spider-Man sighting lower the impact of Infinity War at all?
I don't know.
Do they gotta watch what they do with that?
We gotta get through Infinity War because he's gone.
Yeah, we gotta get through Infinity. We have to get through to Infinity War.
He wasn't
but
feeling too good.
He was not feeling too good. But yeah,
Too
we have
soon.
to get past. We don't know when this Venom thing takes place. This Venom movie could take place before the events of Spider-Man: Homecoming, or even before the events of Civil War. So I want to know what the case is because they got to tie it back into
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
that's
Does he go? You know
that's
what? Let's
what's
just move to
that's
New
what's
York.
getting me a lot, man.
Too much stuff here.
How they gonna tie it
Cali.
in if it needs to be tied in? You know.
Well, this is the place for wild speculation. And just like I guessed randomly with Infinity War, I'm going to guess randomly here. And I'm going to say at the end of this movie, they're like, you know what? We need to go to New York. There's an opening at the newspaper over there, the Daily Bugle or whatever. And we'll just go over there. And he goes over there and he's like, yeah, you're good. Just make sure you write, your articles. And don't worry about the photos because we got a freelance guy doing that. And he's like, a freelance? I always took my own photos. And they're like, oh, no, this guy's pretty damn good. And it's Peter Parker. Just jumping things together. We still haven't seen the new J. Jonah Jameson. We're going to have to get him because he's the guy who actually fires Eddie Brock. Yeah. I guess Brock just gets a bad name for himself for trying to report on them in the first place. And then something connects him with that organization, and he's able to get that Venom symbiote. But
just a bad rub, I guess. I don't know. Let's see.
But how do you said this is the one you're most excited about, right?
I'm definitely most excited about this.
Okay, Venom. Well, Venom will be
it's the most different.
Yes, it is.
So,
and it sort of kind of looks like a horror movie a little bit. I mean, the Venom symbiote is horrifying. It always has been in the comic books. Every portrayal I ever seen is getting scarier and bigger, longer tongues and sharper teeth. So here's hoping that this is what sets Sony to set their universe right. I mean, they'll get Tom Holland back, and that's Spider-Man, and he will have an entire universe to play with because they will have made him a jungle gym by the time he gets back. So that's good on there. That comes out all the way in July. So I'm going to go from the farthest to the closest. Let's talk about Deadpool 2, which landed its last trailer, its final trailer, as it says, with the mama said, knock you out. Don't call it a comeback. Wade Wilson is back as Deadpool.
Got Josh Brolin.
Yeah, with Josh Brolin.
Again.
Come again in theaters.
I don't even know if I'm ready for this. Yeah, do I want to go see you again? No.
Josh Brolin not playing the Mad Titan this time. He'll be playing Cable, the time traveler with a cybernetic arm and a cybernetic eye. But how did you feel about the original Deadpool? And how did you feel about the original campaign for this stuff? You had the Bob Ross painting, right? You had the Superman telephone booth changing. Mm-hmm. You had the dollhouse because the CGI wasn't already put in the trailer stuff. How do you feel about this campaign of Deadpool?
It was really revved up. If you notice, way revved up than the first go around. Hell yeah.
Yeah. This movie made a lot of money. They were
talking you had the Celine Dion, the video of Celine Dion.
Yeah, they got a video of Celine Dion out. They were talking about a sequel before this movie even came out. The first movie came out, and then months after that, now they're talking about franchise stuff. They're seeing what they could do with X-Force in general, and they're introducing the idea of X-Force here. X-Force being the kind of black ops of the X-Men. Mm-hmm. X-Men don't kill, X-Force don't care. So that's basically the deal with that. But yeah, I love the Bob Ross stuff. They're really on their mark with this fourth wall breaking. And the first movie blew me away with just how funny it was, but it also had a lot of heart. Yeah. I hope that this movie has that balance. The thing was, that movie was directed by Tim Miller, and in October of last year, Tim Miller left due to creative differences with Ryan Reynolds, who's the star. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to get rid of Ryan Reynolds. Instead, David Licht, I might be pronouncing that wrong, is directing, and he has credits in both The Wolverine, which was the better one, the one that took place in Japan, and John Wick. So they
don't know what he's doing there.
Yeah, so he does know what he's doing.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be all over the place in a whole crazy good,
in a good
fun way. Yeah, hell yeah, man. This is gonna be another ride, dude.
They did set the stage, and while a lot of the work was Tim Miller, I gotta say a lot of the work was Ryan Reynolds too. He did a lot.
I heard he had a lot of input and stuff like that too. So
he seems happy to play the character. He seems happy to promote the character, happy to promote the movie, happy to get on the Twitter and tell everybody off. You've seen all of that stuff. And he's excited for it. They're saying they might not be at Deadpool 3, but As long as we're here on 2, they seem to be going full steam ahead.
Right.
This is coming out 3 weeks after Infinity War, so we'll see how it does in the box office. I'm pretty sure it's gonna still make a ton of money. But let's get into this trailer. We hear them say that they have to intercept a convoy. The convoy on it has the letters DMC. This is a X-Men movie, so I'm guessing M is mutant. So it's something of mutant control.
Right.
Department of mutant control or something like that. Everybody on this convoy seems to be in like these yellow jumpsuits, almost like they're in jail. They're in prison. They almost look like they're
mutant prison.
Yeah, they almost look like there's cages on each one of these trucks. So they're transporting maybe dangerous mutants, maybe the last mutants. Who knows? But we're told that the majority of this movie has to do with a kid being in trouble, a mutant child being in trouble, and Deadpool doing everything he can to make sure that Cable doesn't get to him. And for some reason, Cable feels like he needs to get to him. They make a Thanos joke. So that's kind of funny because he understands that Josh Brolin is playing both Thanos and Cable. We get introduced to Cable, who's rocking everything from energy shields, guns. Like I said, he has the arm,
the teddy bear on the waist.
He's doing telekinesis to grab his weapons. So he is. Josh Brolin looks amazing. It all looks good. And then we see Weasel, old friend of Wade Wilson's, and Wade do auditions for X-Force.
Recruitment.
How do you feel about these auditions?
That was
from
great.
LinkedIn?
If there's one way you're gonna do them, you're gonna do them that way. You're gonna put out a Craigslist ad, and here we go.
This is kind of how
wait for people to show up.
You ever seen Mystery Men? It's kind of how Mystery Men happen. And they answer a newspaper ad, and so you just have people, literally auditioning. And I thought that was pretty funny. You get Bedlam, who in the comics creates electromagnetic fields that affect both electronics and humans.
Oh.
Crazy, right? And he's a skilled fighter. You get Shatterstar, who got shockwaves, superhuman physical, his physique. He can do teleportation with his swords. He's a master swordsman. He can shift his internal muscles so as not to get damaged during fight. He has a healing factor. And supposedly he's from the future as well.
Oh.
And then you have Domino, whose powers are a little bit harder to explain. She has kind of like super luck. She's always on the good side of odds, but basically what she does is wherever she's at...
What up, girl? We're going to go to still play the lottery.
Wherever she's at, she's able to manipulate probability. So she can't make impossible things happen, but she can make seemingly impossible things happen. Seemingly impossible shots. Her life is always just saved. She just has super good luck.
Let's go, girl. Let's go
So
play the
Domino
lottery.
is
You know
in
what I'm
there.
saying? Let's go play the lottery, buy all the scratch-offs. You know?
Domino, Shatterstar, Bedlam, these are all... Well, Shatterstar and Domino, I know, are X-Force alumni, along with Deadpool and Cable. So you know that these guys will eventually be on the same team. Returning right off the bench, Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Vanessa, Black Owl, Dopinder. They're all back. And we see Cable deliver the line, "You're no hero, you're just a clown dressed as a sex toy." And that's when they do a little dig at the DC universe by saying, "Wow, that's pretty dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe?" That joke was deserved if you've seen Batman vs. Superman or Justice League. They do a one-eyed Willie joke from Goonies in there because Josh Brolin was in the Goonies when he was a kid. And they even have a little bit of an X-Men Origins joke when he's sitting there slashing the bullets.
Right.
That's from Origins when he walks
when he walks into the
elevator,
Wolverine,
and he just and he's able to take them all out. Yeah, so he's actually joking around with that. The stinger is that there seems to be a regular guy joining. His name is Peter. Peter has no powers, but he's down to clown.
He's on for the ride.
How you feel about Peter, the eventful member of X-Force?
Oh, no, let's go. Let's see. I hope he makes it.
There is a Peter that has joined X-Force. He was a British guy named Peter Wisdom. And he was able to absorb ambient heat and solar radiation and then generate hot knives. This is what I was told. Hot knives can be pulled out of his fingertips or just kept on his fingertips so he can scratch people. That's Peter Wisdom.
Okay.
But hopefully Peter's just nobody. I hope he's just a nobody.
I just hope he's a regular schmo. Regular jobber dude.
There's been rumored to be a bunch more mutants and X-Force members making cameos. We've only been shown a couple, and that's usually what they do. They show you the couple that they can show, so they can hide a couple later in the actual film. What's your over/under? If you had to make a magical number as to surprise members of this film,
More than what they showed in the trailer? About like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 more.
4 or 5 more.
That's pretty big. Yeah, I think we could get both because if Negasonic and Colossus are there,
Right.
so they can represent X-Men, and you can throw as many X-Men members in there as you want, and then X-Force.
And he's kind of going to the mansion too, so let's see who's walking around.
Yeah, you saw how that went last time. Oh wow, you can already see it. Oh wow, there's way more people here than last time. Was this even the same building? I can see all those jokes getting thrown. Do you think they do Infinity War jokes?
I don't know.
Think they got any? Say they would have to have written them prior. I wonder if one hand knows what the other hand's doing. You know, I thought that was pretty interesting. Another interesting fact: Josh Brolin, when signing for this film, signed for don't misquote me here, signed for a 4-film deal.
What
bro.
the hell?
4 films. So we have 4 films with Cable, guaranteed. This will be his first in Deadpool 2, kind of like Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War, and then. From everything I'm hearing between Josh Brolin and Ryan Reynolds,
Right.
they might just go forward just X-Force, X-Force 1, X-Force 2, X-Force 3, and then you can have a Deadpool in X-Force. Deadpool and Cable in X-Force, basically. Cable is known as the leader for many, many years of X-Force. So they could just be setting up this vehicle for those two to sit in. How do you feel about that?
I can dig it because first we got the first Deadpool movie, we knocked it out the park. Awesome. Hands down. Second one, I have a feeling is going to be way better than the first one.
And
so
all the weight's not on Ryan in this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'm just saying they have my trust, and I have faith in it. Whatever they have planned, just kind of show us, and stuff. See how we react and everything. Let us soak it in, things and such.
Now, we sat here and we talked about Infinity War a little bit, and we know that there's speculation that in Avengers 4 there'll be some time travel. What do you think is so bad with this child that Cable feels like he needs to come from the past? To not capture him, he needs to kill him.
I don't know. Maybe he destroys the planet.
Destroys the planet? I think it has something to do with mutants.
Or all mutants.
Destroys all the mutants. Maybe when he gets older or something. There's a pretty interesting story called the Messiah Complex, in which after Scarlet Witch does the No More Mutants in House of M, one new baby mutant is born, and Cable comes from the future to protect it, because if not, then the future of the mutant race is gone. But yeah, I love that they're playing with time travel. I love that because that kind of opens up everything. The X-Men universe is a little bit of a mess right now.
Yeah.
So if you have a time traveler, who knows what kind of precedents that can set. And we haven't heard anything about Dark Phoenix, which is in the same studio as this. So I wonder if they're keeping it just because of
that'll be crazy.
Because of some events that happen in Deadpool 2. Again, wild speculation. That's what we're here for. Because if you guys are not thinking of it, odds are we are. Anything else you want to say on Deadpool 2?
Move or die.
Move or die. And just keep up the jokes, keep up the fourth wall, but it has to have heart. Bring it back to the heart. That's what really made Deadpool 1. The jokes are all funny, the action's all great, but it's easy to do those. We've seen that happen. It's when you have it grounded to an emotional, core, that I think the movie does a little bit better.
What part do you think he gets chopped off this time? I want to see his ankle get chopped off, or both of them.
We've seen the little hand thing. That's coming back. The little hands.
You think the little hands
are coming back?
You think it's both little hands? You think it's going to be 2 little hands this time?
Yeah. I don't think anyone else has a healing factor on there. And, X-Force, who else? What other 2 prominent members of X-Force they were? Wolverine and Laura. Both joined X-Force in the future.
But Logan's dead.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens if Laura pops up. That'll be further.
If they can introduce X-23 into this timeline somehow, that'd be amazing. Because who knows? Cable could be from the future that Logan takes place, or from a future a couple years after that. So if he can stop the events of Logan, maybe we get Wolverine back. Speaking of which, if we're speculating wildly, Hugh Jackman. Is Hugh Jackman in this film? I'm gonna say yes.
You gonna say yes?
I mean, we
Nah.
just here. We here, right? We in the
We
clique.
here.
We under the trust tree. You can say anything. No one's gonna be like, remember that time on that podcast you said that thing and it was completely wrong.
I mean, he was bothering him like
You
a
saw
couple
that
weeks ago. I saw that. Yeah.
They did a little
So
thing
that'd be
where he's
freaking
talking and
nuts.
Deadpool's in his bed,
Yeah.
and Hugh Jackman's face appeared in Deadpool 1, and they made a bunch of Wolverine
Yup,
jokes.
Huge Jack, man.
And we skipped over the fact that on posters and in the trailer, this is supposedly advertised as from the studio that killed Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I'm saying, yeah, that's my final crazy
They're
speculation.
jerking a lot of chains, man.
That's my final crazy speculation on the Deadpool 2 movie is Hugh Jackman will be in it. If he's in it in the yellow and blue, my heart just stopped because if they're able to give me that,
that's.
I know I'm asking for a lot.
My God.
But you know what? I didn't ask for half this much, and Infinity War gave me double.
Oh
So
my
if
God,
I'm able to
that's
get,
true.
if we get a good Venom movie with Spider-Man cameo, if we get a Deadpool movie with a Wolverine cameo, if we're able to get all these things, I'm telling you,
And we don't ask for much. But
comic
what we
books
do,
are my
you know?
new overlord. But like I said, it's all fun and games. Just make sure you keep the heart. And you know why I keep saying make sure you keep the heart? Because there's another film that I think I'm a little bit concerned about whether it'll have any heart or
Oh my
not.
God.
I think it
My
might just be all
goodness.
jokes. And it might actually beat Deadpool as far as breaking the fourth wall.
Mhm.
And that is Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
I want to go see that. I'm going to go to the movies to go see that.
That is out. Deadpool, like I said, is out May 18th. But Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which is out July 27th, is the first time since Mask of the Phantasm DC's put out an animated film in the movie theaters. Now, if you ask me, they getting a little bit tough because of Lego Batman.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, all right, Lego Batman.
Lego Batman was
busting
good.
Open the door,
It was funny. It let them play with all the characters. You didn't have to worry about casting. You didn't have to worry about any of that. Will Arnett, who played Lego Batman, will be helping produce this film. He voiced Lego Batman. But Aaron Horvath and Peter Ryder McCall, if I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry. First time directors, never directed anything. Anything. They both worked on the Teen Titans Go series, which I'm not the most fan of. I think it's good in bites.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Teen Titans Go series? Did you watch the Teen Titans series prior? Do you have any connection to these characters in the comics?
I actually ended up watching the series by mistake by one time for a couple of days actually.
The OG Teen Titans or the regular
Go.
one? Okay, Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, the one that's on now. But the OG Teen Titans I'm very familiar with because everybody wishes they were back around, and those are my Titans coming up too. I paid attention to see what all the fuss was about, and I see what all the fuss is about. Like, it gets annoying because it's all jokey and stuff like that. Like, I get the concept and everything, so I guess it's like you said, it's good in bites.
Yeah.
I saw it for a while for what it was, and I kind of liked it. It was good and enjoyable. But nothing like the previous.
When everything is done right, there's space for it, right? If you consider the fact that Teen Titans Go is in the same quote unquote universe as, like, let's say Arrow, right? You understand? Like, you can go both sides, to the dark, to the light, all this kind of stuff. But Lego Batman is probably, besides Wonder Woman, the thing that was the highest praised from DC in the last 2 years or so.
Hell yeah.
So they gotta find some way to make money off these properties, bro, because they're literally sitting on the shelf.
To be honest, I think Teen Titans Go to the Movies is gonna do all right at the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show has a big following.
Yeah, I meant to mention that earlier, and it has like a stupid following.
Yeah, the show has a tremendous following, and they do a lot of inside jokes, a lot of breaking the fourth wall, a lot of adult jokes.
I was gonna mention that earlier. When you first said it, I thought Deadpool's gonna be all over the place. Oh my God.
Yeah. My favorite episode.
Do you know the run? Have they said the runtime for this?
Oh no, not yet.
No. Oh my goodness.
No. I don't see it being too long. Maybe like an hour and change.
Yeah, but definitely. But I think it's just gonna be off the wall, to be honest.
My favorite episode of Teen Titans Go, and I haven't seen much of it, is the Night Begins to Shine episode. The episode in which Cyborg supposedly has this song that makes him feel like more of a superhero.
Yes.
And just
have
the
that song,
entire
by the way.
episode, I have this song downloaded on my phone. The entire episode is just playing into that. But I've seen episodes where everyone's trying to get brolic thighs. I've seen episodes where Bizarro Robin comes and they think that he's a better leader. I've seen all kinds of crazy episodes. Some of them have to do with continuity, some of them don't. And they just seem to, regardless, everyone seems to be having a blast there. But one thing, like I said, I've noticed from the show, constantly breaking the fourth wall. And even in this trailer,
Yeah, I think
they do
yeah,
that.
I think the movie is gonna be freaking real crazy.
Because
With that.
the trailer starts off with everyone at the actual movies, right? And then they're like, they're finally doing a movie about Batman's greatest friend, and it shows the R, a big R, and they're like, his best friend in the whole world. And Robin's like, yes, they're finally making a Robin movie, which is commentary on the fact that the Robin character has not been on screen since 1999, I think, when Batman and Robin came out. Which, I mean,
Please.
come on, DC. How do you find yourself in the same position 20 years later? But instead of the Robin movie, though, they're not watching a trailer for the Robin movie. It turns out it's a trailer for the Alfred movie. And he goes, it's time to clean up this city. Would you watch the Alfred movie?
I would not, but I would go to the movies for Teen Titans. Go to the movies.
I would see the Alfred movie if it was Michael Caine. If he was constantly talking, Master Wayne.
Interesting, Master Wayne.
Master Wayne. I've got a headache the size of a tangerine. I want if you can bring him in there, I'm good. By the way, Tom Hardy's Brooklyn or New York voice or Brooklyn voice, he's kind of doing like a New York thing, right?
Maybe.
Right? Kind of doing like I know we kind of got off that for a second, but yeah, I feel like Tom Hardy doing like hey, you're trying to sneak up behind me. I'm doing a terrible voice now. I'm doing like a British Brooklyn voice. It's just terrible.
But you suck.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, and in the Teen Titans universe, turns out they're making movies about everyone, which again is a commentary.
The Teen Titans.
But the Teen Titans. Turns out that's a commentary on what's going on now, right? You hear all the time, like, did you hear that they're considering making a Doctor Doom movie? What's Doctor Doom without the Fantastic Four? What's Venom without Spider-Man? But they're literally making any movie, any character
Robins,
gets a movie now.
No Starfires.
So they make a joke about that. But yeah, no Titans and no Robin movies. And you know why? Turns out they only make movies about real heroes, and that's what they're told. Then one of the things that these animated movies get to do that the actual live action movies don't get to do is stunt cast, right? In Lego Batman, we found out that Batman was going to be played by Will Arnett, but Two-Face was actually played by Billy D. Williams, who played Two-Face in the original Batman movie. So you got to do these like cute little cameos. Exactly, meta cameos with voice acting. And this is the same. Nicolas Cage plays Superman in this.
Yeah, that was crazy. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I paused there. I was like, what?
And he was cast in the Superman movie that never got created, Superman Lives, which was written by Kevin Smith and it was going to be worked on by Tim Burton. But that movie never got made, so Cage never got to be Superman. He gets to be Superman in this. Wonder Woman, played by Halsey, which, I mean, that's a pretty tough woman, if you ask me. And then Little Yachty is playing Jon Stewart's Green Lantern.
That's crazy.
What?
The boat.
What? And then you got Christian Bell, who is Will Arnett's husband. No, it's Dax Shepard's wife. Sorry. Kristen Bell is a comedian. She'll be playing Jade Wilson. Jade Wilson is described as a movie like press secretary, she's the one that tells them that they only make movies about real people. Right. And I'm guessing just jumping to a conclusion
about Jade Wilson.
That Jade Wilson is married to Slade.
Oh, Slade
Wilson.
Ooh.
Good thing you made that joke, but is married to Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. They ask Green Lantern about his Green Lantern. They're like, "Wow, you made a movie about you too?" And he's like, "Yeah, but we don't talk about it." Wonder Woman has a movie out. Superman has a movie out. Everyone has a movie out.
But the Titans.
And they seem to think that the only way they can get their movie is if they have a enemy. Now, an enemy in the first Teen Titans animated series was Slade, right? He was a huge part of that series. Slade trying to take out the Titans. And he's a big part of the book, Deathstroke. But it turns out that in this film, they're going to try to actually bridge those gaps and bring Slade Wilson to Teen Titans Go. He's being played by Will Arnett again, and the first thing they do is start joking about calling him Deadpool. They call him Deadpool constantly.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was coming. I was smelling the minute. I knew they had him in. I was like, here it comes. Eventually, it's gonna come, and when it comes, it's gonna be bad.
But they made the joke. They make the joke that he's Deadpool or whatever, and they also make the joke that no, if anything, Deadpool should be calling himself Deathstroke because Deathstroke came first, and that's the honest to God truth. So they're at every turn they're just making these jokes, left and right. It seems to be a lot of fun. I'm gonna probably go and see it. At one point, Deathstroke has like a Megazord, and then when they go to do like their final battle, he like suggests doing a dance off, which was something not only joked about in Infinity War but took place in Guardians of the Galaxy. So, poking a lot of fun. This movie, it seems to be a lot of fun. To tell you the truth, I don't know what it says. But I'm about ready to just laugh and have fun in a DC movie. I don't even care about details anymore.
That's why
but
it's gonna be all over the place.
But they've beaten me to that level of submission. You understand what I'm saying? They've beaten me to that level because
you need a ray of light from DC.
In another world, I would be like, "Where's Man of Steel 2?" You telling me the only thing you're gonna come out with this year is this cartoon movie, and then in December, Aquaman? But who knows? If DC is able to get their footing and find out what their audiences want, hopefully this is another step in that right direction. But who freaking knows, right? Animated, who freaking knows? But yeah, Teen Titans Go to the movies. The original cast, voice cast, is all returning. Is there anything you want to see in this? Is there anything in particular that you want to see?
I don't know. From everything, I feel like the gang is gonna be the gang, and since they have their own movie in the movie, that they're gonna be trying to get a movie.
Yeah. Well, they also I think they also make light of the fact that majority of their episodes deal with them not doing anything, right? Because they say like you have to like do things to be in a movie, and you guys don't have an enemy, so you guys are never doing things, and I think that it's true. If you watch the show, the episode is literally about whatever's going on
inside the tower,
inside Titan's tower. So, be funny. Lego Batman. DC is great when it wants to make fun of itself.
I think Lego Batman is legendary. So I hope this Teen Titans Go to movies does them awesome justice.
Yeah, man.
So,
because we won't talk about it right now, but they're not going to be the only Titans around. So I'll just leave that there. Let's go over our final trailer.
Ooh.
Our final trailer of the evening as far as movies are concerned.
Ooh.
Yeah, we still got some more. And that's Ant-Man and the Wasp, which comes out July 6th. I have one question here in bold. How do you garner interest for this movie?
After we just seen
Post Infinity War.
I don't know. He on house arrest.
Minor spoilers.
He on house arrest.
Post Infinity War, yeah. And that's the thing. The big question is, where was Ant-Man? And we were told that Ant-Man was on house arrest with Hawkeye. They were both, I guess they both took plea deals, they said.
During
Civil War. After Civil War, because Cap busts them out of jail.
True.
And I guess they take plea deals.
And they got.
They both got families.
Yeah, true.
They both got families. They're the only ones that got families. Yeah,
Scott's got kids.
They got kids. They need those jobs. So they're both on house arrest. But they did even a little trailer of like where was Ant-Man and the Wasp? Did you see that where they asked cast members of Infinity War where they were? Mm-hmm. And they were all like, I don't know, maybe they were in the movie just small. So I thought that was pretty cool. But the movie opens up with Cassie returning, which is Scott Lang's daughter. So Scott Lang, Paul Rudd returning. Obviously, he's in the title. Ant-Man is back, and he's back with his daughter, and he's being questioned about how long he's been Ant-Man, and whether he likes it and all that other kind of stuff. And Cassie seems to want to grow up and be a hero too, which happens in the comics. She actually does end up gaining one of those suits and can do the same things her dad does, but doesn't seem to be happening in this film. In this film, turns out that Hank Pym opened like a door to the quantum realm. That's what Luis is quoted on saying. He's opened a door to the quantum realm. A villain named Ghost stole his tech, and now he is hiring the ex-cons that sort of kind of broke into his house to steal the Ant-Man suit in the first place to help him get this tech back. Turns out Ghost wants to rule the world, or I guess, or whatever evil villain mustache twirling thing is going on with that. But besides hiring the ex-cons, in this one, he gets a partner. Brand new partner for Ant-Man in The Wasp, which is Hank Pym's daughter. Hope Pym, I guess. That work?
Hope Van Dyne.
Hope Van Dyne. Why does she get the last name? Whatever. So, yeah, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp. We got a duo. This is the first time we get a movie about a legit team duo. We got Thor Ragnarok, which was kind of a buddy cop thing, and even Deadpool and Cable. But this is legit Ant-Man and the Wasp.
This is it. Let's do it.
It's like Batman and Robin.
And it's a boo thing, too.
These have been together forever. And yeah, they are in a relationship, sort of, kind of.
We'll see how that goes.
And as you know, they have kind of a strange relationship because Ant-Man kind of sort of stole the suit and used it to help Cap in Germany.
Yeah,
and it's discussed that he says, if I would have asked you to help me when Captain America called me, would you have? And she goes, well, I guess we'll never know now. So you know that Hank Pym's got to be on the run because everyone in the world who has any kind of footage of Giant Man wants to know what the heck is that, who has that, and how do we arrest them to make sure they don't use it. Yes. We see that Hank Pym is able to transport his big old building small. Mm-hmm. Use it kind of like a luggage. Right? Wasp has wings and a blaster, something Ant-Man doesn't. We see more Pym particles. We're able to turn a car small and big. A Pez dispenser. We see Giant Man looks huge. He seems to be like trying to get one of those ferries.
Oh, coming out in the water, ocean, right? Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
he's huge. We know that Walter Goggins is going to be in it, playing Sonny Birch, who's an evil industrialist, kind of like Justin Hammer. So he seems to be the one maybe trying to take Hank Pym's technology away from him. I guess if you make technology, there will always just be an evil person trying to take your technology.
There, definitely. Evil mastermind. I hate him.
Yes, the villain Ghost seems to be able to phase through things using Pym particles. I guess she's able to rearrange her atoms and get in and out of things. It's a female. It was a male in the comics, but they said that they don't really need to keep it a gender thing for the movie, whatever that means. But she will be playing the villain in the film. We have Lawrence Fishburne, who will be playing Bill Foster, a.k.a. Goliath, who had the same kind of powers as Ant-Man in the comics. He can get really, really big. And in Civil War, they killed him.
Yeah. Right. I think
right
Thor, Thor kills him.
Robot Thor,
yes. Clone
Thor. It's comics. It's long to explain. Sit down with me later and I'll tell you all about it.
They made it tragic. It was real bad, but yeah.
But Bill Foster's in this. Now he has his foot in Matrix. Right? Lawrence Fishburne has his foot in Matrix, has his foot in DC as Perry White.
Go ahead.
And now his foot in Marvel as Bill Foster. And guess what? Supposedly in an interview, he was asked, about being in the MCU, and he says, that he daydreams about it, and when he thinks about it, really deep down, he's a Marvel guy. Yeah. I say that too after BBS. After BBS, I'll be saying I'm a Star Wars guy.
It's all right.
I've always been a Harry Potter guy. That's what I really am.
It's okay.
Hilarious. Sorry, I had to laugh about that for a second.
They're trying.
And not in the trailers, Michelle Pfeiffer, who we know is playing Janet. Hank Pym's wife, who was stuck in the quantum realm. We found out also that in the quantum realm, time and space do not exist. Yes. So... Are we going to go get?
She wouldn't have aged a day.
Are we going back to get Janet, or is we only getting Janet in flashbacks?
Well, the door is open, so she just might walk on out.
You think it's a dual plot? Hank goes to go get Janet, and the two guys go to get Ghost, who stole the stuff, or do you think they're also going in the quantum realm?
I think they're going into the quantum realm.
Okay.
Because of Ghost.
Daddy finds it. They do. Oh, well, Ghost could be using the quantum realm technology. She may be trying to.
I think that's going to be a thing. So.
Speaking of which, they wouldn't. This movie's placement has to be strategic, right?
Yes, hell yeah.
Has to be.
It's got to happen like the day after.
So
or the week after.
We don't know whether this takes place before or after Infinity War, but we're going to jump to the conclusion that it's before. Without spoiling it, I have said that I think that the event of Infinity War will take place. The big event of Infinity War will take place at the end of this film.
Yeah,
That was my guess.
I think we might see. It'll be cool. We might see a couple of them disappear
Yeah,
at the end of that movie.
that would be crazy if they're able to do that. But as far as tying Avengers 4 and Infinity War into it, do you think that this movie holds the key to stopping Thanos? Do you think at all the quantum realm or the secrets in it have anything to do with stopping Thanos?
I don't know, but I know I've heard Doctor Strange mention the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So I paid attention to that. I'm hanging on to that too. So let's see what's up with that.
And you think we're getting a full-fledged rescue of Janet?
Not a full-fledged rescue. Maybe like oh hey, like what? She might fall out of it or something, or they might see her in there.
Okay, but it's not going to be like central to the plot.
I don't think so.
As a matter of fact, if she came back, if they got Janet right, and her and Hank left or disappeared, that's reasons to call Cap, right? As Ant-Man?
Hell yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, we just got everyone back. I gotta call somebody. And Ant-Man has Cap's phone number. They were on the same squad.
That's true. And he knows Hawkeye, so.
And he knows Hawkeye. Is Hawkeye in this film?
I don't know.
Well, I'm asking you. I'm curious.
He's on house arrest, and we don't know. He lives in the woods, so.
Curious. I made the crazy Hugh Jackman guess in that, and then I made in Deadpool, and then I said the random Spidey Man thing. And I didn't make any guess on Teen Titans, but in Ant-Man and Wasp, I'm gonna say Hawkeye's in it.
Yeah, I'm saying a couple of them disappear at the end.
And then how, if you had to guess, how could you use the quantum realm to defeat Thanos?
I don't know, but
maybe you shrink the gauntlet into the quantum realm and then he can't get him anymore. Or it would be cool if they put the stones in the quantum realm, right after the fact.
That's interesting.
But then somebody could be able to go and get them. Anyone with PIM particles.
Yeah.
What do you want to see turn big or turn small? What was your favorite part of the trailer of something turning big and turning small?
I like the car. I like the car coming underneath and turning big. I mean, it's crazy because the roof of the car is crushed.
And it's interesting that you brought that too.
So that was cool.
Hank being able to open the quantum realm shows that he's been working hard.
But yeah. That's also another thing I want to see. I want to see all the quantum realm mojo I can get. Because they teased it in the last one.
Right. Scott actually entered the quantum realm and was able to escape. So maybe Hank Pym got some readings on the suit and is able to get back down there and root around a little bit. But as far as future advancements in technology go, not only are they opening the quantum realm, but that Pym particle car getting big and small thing, everyone inside also got small and big with no issue, which is huge because, to my knowledge, you need that suit to be able to get small and big without anything happening. So I'm very interested to see what new advancements we have as far as Pym tech goes. Last but not least, with Ant-Man and the Wasp, what do you think, if any, connections to the Starks?
I don't know, to be honest.
Any story?
Because I mean, if anything that they mention is probably like a quick jab at them.
Hey, I never liked those Starks.
That's about it.
Yeah. And we'll go from something that will obviously have some sort of tie-ins to Avengers 3 and 4 to something that probably will have no ties to Avengers 3 and 4. And that is the only show we have a trailer that we reviewed, and that is Luke Cage Season 2. Luke Cage Season 2 comes out, Annie up. I always love these trailers. I loved Season 1. I think the first half of Season 1 is just genius. In the same ways that I say the first season of The Flash is genius. The music, Cottonmouth,
the placement of everything.
New York. New York being New York. Harlem being Harlem and not being scared to be Harlem 100%. The language that they use, the sets that they use, coloring everything kind of like a warmish yellow. Thought that was amazing too. Made it feel right at home. How do you feel about Luke Cage Season 1?
It was good. I liked the way it picked up. It was very paced, and it had a couple of swerves that made you think they were going one way, but they were going the other way. Definitely. I know that was definite for me.
We're dealing with Luke Cage not after the events of season 1, but after the events of the Defenders.
Yeah, and my
So he's
boy,
out of
I peeped
prison.
my boy Shades is back, so that's cool.
I thought you were gonna say somebody else. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shades is back. Mariah's back. Who else did we see? I saw Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish.
So Bobby Fish.
You know Bobby
I
Fish.
didn't peep
Playing
Bobby.
chess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Fish is in there. But yeah, let's get into that trailer. It starts off with someone blowing up a semi truck, and Luke just walking out of it on fire in the hoodie. And he goes, "Yo, I'm Luke Cage. You want to test me? You know where to find me." And then someone's like shooting like
You heard?
someone's shooting like bootleg movie footage of it. And like, yeah, we got all that. It turns out Luke Cage is a man of the people now. Everyone knows Luke Cage. They got murals of him in
Up in
Harlem.
yep.
You see him taking selfies with kids. There's a scene of him just walking. Did you see the scene of him walking down the street and just like bad guys running away?
Yeah,
Like, just
yeah,
running.
yeah.
Like Luke Cage is known now. He's a man of the people. He's legit on the streets. But you hear somebody in the background going, everybody talking about Luke Cage like he's Jesus. Bulletproof black man. One man cannot save a community. And believe me, Luke Cage is nothing but a man. I thought that this was all being spoken by the villain of the series, which we'll get to in a bit. But it seems to be spoken to by a preacher.
Right.
And there is a priest. So I went and I looked to find out who that priest could be, because it's played by an actor who sadly passed away this February. He also played Cyborg's father in Justice League. So I went and I looked for that, and turns out it's a reverend. And the reverend's name is Reverend James Lucas. If that sounds familiar, that's because that's the father of Carl Lucas. If Carl Lucas sounds familiar, that's because that is Luke Cage. Luke Cage is Pappy? Talking?
Happy Cage.
Luke Cage Pappy's alive?
Right?
What's going on here? What do you think?
I don't know. Didn't his brother get away too?
Yeah, I think Dimebag is definitely out and about. Does he not know that Luke Cage is
Luke Cage?
Carl Lucas? Because that could be a thing too, right?
Yeah.
If he changed his name, what is
What's
Daddy
going
Cage
on?
doing back in Harlem, back preaching? It's not a flashback. He's talking
Right,
about
he's
Luke
talking
Cage.
about Luke Cage.
Is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? And if you've seen Jessica Jones, without spoiling that, they seem to be bringing families in this season. As a matter of fact, if you know about Daredevil season 3,
Yeah.
they're bringing families in. What's going on here?
I don't know.
Is this what they're doing this year? Family reunions across Netflix? Do you think Daddy Cage is a good guy or a bad guy?
I think. Oh shoot! Because you think he knows he's in Harlem?
I
mean, not that you
does
think he knows
Luke
he's in
know that
Harlem.
his
You think,
father's in Harlem?
not that you think he knows Luke is Luke.
I don't think Luke is, but the way he's talking about him, I don't think Luke is Luke. If he's talking
If he
about him and he
thinks
knows
Luke
Luke
is
is
Luke,
Luke, then
yeah.
he's a bad
I
guy.
don't think so.
Then he's a bad guy.
Then he's a bad guy. That means Luke is gonna have to eventually find out who. You know.
I again, because like I said, I love to crazy speculate. I would love to see a series of scenes where Luke Cage knows that the Reverend is his father, but not vice versa,
Right.
and he's like going to him to confess, and just like try to feel it.
Yeah, right.
But we'll see. Because when we're told, we see him, like I said, hanging with kids. We see the mural in Harlem. We see him walking down the street and crooks, and then we see him like bust up a drug plant.
Right,
you see
right,
the
right.
women that are
The
naked
guys
with the
with
thing.
machine guns in the
Guys with
warehouse.
machine guns. Everyone's still trying to shoot him. People still ain't hear about
And
Luke
he's
Cage.
like, what, man?
He's like, come on,
Y'all still doing this?
I love I think it was in the series where he's like, all these holes in my clothes. Like, what's going on here? Yeah, like trying to shoot him up, and he seems to be on top of it. But then you hear the voiceover say, believe me, Luke Cage is but a man. And then you just see somebody do like a spin kick
Harlem,
on Luke Cage.
mine now. And it floors him.
And
Blah,
floors him.
blah.
And then you see Luke Cage spitting up blood.
In the middle of Harlem, yeah, looking sick.
And this man with a Caribbean accent, would you say?
Voodoo.
I would say like a Haitian maybe accent. I don't want to offend any Haitians out there. You guys let me know what you think it is. But he says, Harlem is mine.
Harlem is mine now. I was like,
And
all right, Mr.
Luke
Man.
Cage is spitting up blood, punch drunk, and you hear him say that he's vulnerable.
Mr. Voodoo Man.
He seems to be a voodoo man, right? You see him like at one point. Well, this villain is named Bushmaster.
Oh.
And at one point, you see Misty Knight is interrogating a convict, and he's like, what makes Bushmaster so scary?" And you could already see that Bushmaster's a skilled fighter. Luke Cage never has to be, and never really has been. I used to say the same thing about Superman. Superman doesn't need to know kung fu; he just has to aim his punch at the face. The strength will do the rest. So we already see that he's outmatched by Bushmaster in this sense, in at least a fighting ability sense. But they say what makes him so scary, and the convict says, "You better hope you never have to find out." And then we see weird scenes of the Bushmaster doing like a seance with candles, voodoo. You see him break a sink, and his eyes light up. You see him stab somebody randomly in the neck, and then you see him get shot, and the bullets don't ricochet like Cage. They get him, but they don't pierce him.
Yeah, they fall out of him.
They fall right out of him. Who the heck is this man?
Voodoo
What
man.
is he trying to do? And then you hear my girl, Rosario Dawson, Road Dogg, who I think she should be playing Lois Lane, but we'll get there later. She says, "I've seen you raw, but never brutal." And he says sometimes brutality is what gets things done. So we could be seeing a more brutal Luke Cage. Then we get some quick shots of Harlem's Paradise, Shades and Mariah setting something on fire. The Biggie poster's back up.
Yep. She got the crown on.
What's up with the Biggie poster?
I don't know, man.
Because she took that down.
Yep, she put it back up.
She definitely took that down when her cousin, met his untimely death. So I'm wondering why she's putting it back up, whether or not it was a flashback or what's going on. But that couple seems to be together. We see Misty looking at some new specs. Maybe courtesy of Rand Industries. She's looking at a new cybernetic arm. A new arm that she has in the comics.
New girl.
She definitely has that on in the comics, so it's cool to see that they're pointing in that direction. And then the trailer ends with a little joke of him saying he doesn't need a sidekick, which we're seeing a lot in with Ant-Man and the Wasp, now Deadpool and Cable. And she's like, "How do you know you're not my sidekick?" And he's like, "This is my show."
Better know real quick.
So I thought that was cool. What parts of this trailer stood out to you as somebody who's excited for season 2?
I thought it was cool to see him nosebleed or cough up blood in the sink.
Yeah, he seemed a little dizzy,
I did not
right?
expect that kick. That kick looked like a wallop.
Yeah.
So to see him kick like that, and then see the bullets fall out of Mr. Voodoo. What's his name? Bushmaster?
His name is Bushmaster. Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if he knows. Remember that guy from Defenders, the one with the pressure points.
Right.
I wonder if they have any White Hat. I think his name was. I wonder if they have any relations, because I mean, think about it. What hits could he have hit that made him do? It could be pressure point stuff, right? It could be, hitting various organs at the right.
I don't know.
Particular part with the right pressure.
Voodoo man.
Bushmaster Voodoo Man does not seem to be playing.
He's got something going on.
Like I said, I'm getting a real Caribbean vibe from him. I'm thinking Haitian. That's my random guess here. In the Caribbean is where they practice a lot of that black magic stuff. I am Caribbean, so I'm not making a dig at anybody. I'm just saying we get very religious in the good and the bad sense.
Voodoo Master Bush.
You see his suits. His suits look Caribbean. You see him at one point with his people. They seem to be having,
Right.
They all look, and that they. Look, I'm ready for a new villain. I hope he's something like Cottonmouth, and I hope he doesn't get killed off too soon like Cottonmouth. I always really liked.
Yeah, so don't get going too crazy.
What they're able to do there with that. But I also really dug the music of season 1, and season 2 is
back.
Yeah, it's composed roughly by the same people, so we're gonna get that level of quality. But are you familiar with Pete Rock?
Who
of
is
New
this?
York fame.
Of New York fame.
Yeah, Pete Rock. My man Pete Rock, he's a rapper. But every episode is going to be titled after a Pete Rock song. Just like every episode of the last season was after a Gangstar song. And according to Wikipedia, the only episodes that are up are 8. Do you think they do an 8-episode season, or are they just waiting to release the rest of the episodes? I think an 8-episode season might actually work better for them.
Think so?
Yeah, I actually think so, because I think Jessica Jones could have went with a little shorter season.
I like 10. It should be like 10.
What
10
was
or
Jessica
11.
Jones?
Jessica Jones is real short for me. I think it didn't crack.
I think Defenders was 8. Jessica might have went to 10, but she could have went right back up to 12 like they did last time. And they just so damn long. Like, if you don't have the story for it, I don't need you to tell me that long of a story.
Yeah.
Don't
I can dig that.
don't catch the villain and then let him run away. You know, like what's going on here with all that kind of stuff? And I guess now's the time to talk about it. The rumors are that Iron Fist is in this season, so you might get Heroes for Hire.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of Iron Fist. I wasn't a big fan of the show. I thought it was one of the
hope-
worst things that Marvel's ever created since, like, maybe Inhumans.
I hope they hug in the show and say, "This is for Dawn."
I hope they make
ComicBook
him
Clique.
interesting, and if they don't make him interesting, I hope that he's not around a lot. Let's keep him in the background. I don't care. I don't care.
I hope a Luke Cage episode is named after the Iron Fist.
Listen, you know, everyone likes, you know, oh, you got that chocolate in my peanut butter. You got that peanut butter in my chocolate. What if I'm allergic to peanut butter? I can't even have a little bit dipped
That's
in.
terrible.
I'm allergic to Iron Fist. All right, so you need to have as little as either get me a cure for his boredom or remove him from my chocolate, which is Luke Cage.
You need to restore your cheek.
Who you think is drinking coffee in this one?
Luke. Luke always drinking the
Luke
coffee.
Drinking all the coffee. You think
Luke
he stays
stays
with
drinking the
Claire?
coffee.
He get him and Claire remain a couple throughout this. Him
I
and
don't
Rosario
know, 'cause
Dawson.
I know Luke likes to drink his coffee, so
Oh yeah.
and he likes to have his several kinds of cups of coffee. if you
Yes,
know
he
what I'm
does.
saying.
Yes, he does. Luke Cage is not. He ain't shy
Player.
to any of that. And he ain't shy to Netflix. Luke Cage busted Netflix when he first came through. He shut down the server. So hopefully the man from Harlem, Power Man, the unbreakable man with the unbreakable skin, maybe he's untouchable this time around. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping Marvel hits hard. We're going to end it with a little bit of DC news. No trailers, but some speculation still, because turns out we finally know the name of DC's streaming service. It will be called, guess this, imagine, this is a very inventive name. They're going to call it DC Universe.
Oh,
which is
all right.
basically the name
That's
of
cool.
everything that they
That's cool.
named. DC Universe already set up 4 title cards, things that they're ready to put out already. Titans.
Okay.
Which will be a group of young heroes known as Titans, who are recruited from around the world.
That's the live action,
and
right?
led by Dick Grayson. Yes, this is going to be the live action joint that, a couple of things came out for. People saw some footage of Starfire and were not too pleased about how that came about. I don't know if those were just shots that we should be worried about or not. But it does seem to be, about done, There's no Cyborg in this, though. It's just Dick Grayson, Beast Boy, Starfire.
Oh, just the gang.
And Raven.
No
Cyborg.
Cyborg.
And which actually makes sense, because Cyborg's on the Justice League as of right now. So you don't want to confuse people on that. But yeah, Titans. Titans will be coming to the DC Universe streaming service. Also coming to the DC Universe streaming service is Harley Quinn. 26 half-hour episodes have been ordered for the animated Harley Quinn show, where Harley attempts to make it out on her own as a criminal queenpin of Gotham and tries to step out of the Joker's shadow. Poison Ivy is said. Poison Ivy is said to be appearing in this show. So that is definitely good to know.
I didn't even know that. I saw the streaming service pop up during the week. I was like, oh, interesting. Must have been like the first day. I was like, where did this come from? I didn't even hear about it or anything like that. It just dropped on me. I was like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, they are trying to pull out everything they got. Everyone wanted Young Justice Season 3, and they're getting it. Young Justice Outsiders will be debuting on the streaming service. If you liked Young Justice Seasons 1 and 2, I mean, everyone did. Season 3 proves to be more of the same, with those characters coming back to reprise those roles, and we see a younger version of the Justice League take out the bad guys.
I can't lie. I didn't even know. I thought the Titans joint was gonna come out on TV.
No,
I didn't know it was gonna be for this.
Yeah, I guess they're just trying to get people hyped for that. And they got a lot of stuff they can move over. They got the Ray. You remember they made the Ray animated stuff that they can move over. Same thing with Constantine. So they have it. Last but not least, Director James Wan, who directed things like Annabelle. He had credits in things like Annabelle, Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, horror. He's making a live action series for Swamp Thing to come out in 2019.
What?
As somebody who just got into Swamp Thing,
I'm here for
Yogi. Thanks to Yogi, I can tell you that that character definitely deserves his own series, and if you can tap into the horror elements of it, man, that could be one hell of an interesting show. One hell of an interesting
something.
show.
I'm gonna see if I check out some cool stories. See you guys recommend me some for
Yeah.
the thing of the swamp.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely have to dive into more Swamp Thing comics. But we were able to do some trailer talk here
That was
today, and that was
nice.
amazing. We got to look into
That
the
was
future.
nice.
We'll be back with more comic movie reviews. We're gonna start diving into some Deadpool comics, and then review Deadpool 2 when that comes out, and then Ant-Man when that comes out. Everything that we talked about today will be reviewed, so that's amazing. We got things to look forward to in the future. Reasons to live, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully maintain this level of excitement always, right?
Right.
We're able to always do that. And if you don't believe us, you want to make sure that we're able to maintain this level of excitement, all you got to do is look back at the other issues of Major Issues, the other episodes.
Go to the past.
The other episodes of the Major Issues podcast, which could be found on Podbean, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, iTunes. Wherever podcasts are found, we're there. You can Google Major Issues Podcast, and we're the first ones to come right up because we're brought to you by Comic Book Clique. Guess what? We got more subscribers than ever now. Our audience seems to be growing. This Infinity War therapy, people really needed that therapy.
Yes.
Glad
everybody came around for
our
that.
numbers are climbing, our subscribers are climbing, and Marvel personally called me to thank them for
being an outlet.
Yes, for allowing people to get a moment of therapy. Well, 2 out of those 3 things really happened, but you get to pick which ones those are. For everyone who just got in, who just joined us for the first time with Infinity War, or even this episode, go back, comment on anything, like if it's new to you, it could be new to us. Listen to an old episode, comment on it, and we'll be right there with you guys to continue the discussion on all things. We've reviewed movies, trailers, books, and hope to do all we can to review everything as part of Comic Book Clique. And we do a lot of things at Comic Book Clique too, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And you can find we can find all things Comic Book Clique at facebook.com/Comic Book Clique, Instagram at Comic Book Clique, or use the hashtag Comic Book Clique to talk about all the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things to come to comic books and comic book media. Major Issues is on Twitter at Major Issues CBC, and I operate that personally. So if you want to go ahead and message me,
he's not a rapper.
I'm rapping. You see me? I'm over here rapping. Well, I'm trying to wrap up, basically. So,
wow, nice. The bars keep coming.
Go ahead and send us those messages. Again, I have been to the future, so I know that this becomes the greatest thing to comic books and comic book media. Major Issues does. And with your help, we can be. And with your help, we are slowly becoming what we will be in the future. We are reaching our potential, and it's all thanks to you. The very last thing I ask, if you are too bothered to share this podcast, or you're too bothered to tell your friends about it, to spread the word, leave us a review on iTunes.
Let us know.
Let us know how we're doing as podcasters, where we can improve, where there is room to improve. And if you don't think we can improve, if you think we are 5-star podcasters already, leave us a 5-star rating. Send us some nice words, because if you're able to rate us something that catches somebody else's eye, they will end up finding this podcast the same way you did, and our family, the Clique, will grow bigger and bigger, and that's all we want, is to help our family grow. Comic-Con's around the corner, and I hope to meet some of you clickers there, because we're going to be there, and we're going to be there in all of our Comic Book Clique glory. But this has been our trailer talk. I was going to say for 2018, but I feel like we're going to get more trailers.
The gossip. Oh, we will. Gossip.
Yeah, this is our gossip. The gossip column is closed for today. Earth is closed today. That's my last Infinity War thing I'm going to say. Thank you for being a part of this podcast. Thank you for being part of all the podcasts in the past. Continue to be a fan of Major Issues every single Wednesday. Brand new episode coming out. My name is George Serrano, a.k.a. The Don. This was our trailer talk for this episode.
Maximus.
You are Cloudus Maximus.
Am I?
And not only do we have Major Issues, but... well, we don't have issues.
We always have major issues.
We always have major issues. But you guys who are out there sharing, you guys who are out there liking this stuff, you guys who are out there commenting and making this podcast what it needs to be, guess what? You are worthy.